All right, gents, we are back. I've actually got a microphone today. Check this out. It's called the Snow. So I've actually got a proper setup through that wall there, but this will be the mobile setup. Awesome. Anyway, guys, we're back here. This is the first ever Friday freestyle chat. We got Kris, we got Ryan, tuning in from Brisbane, Melbourne, and we're just going to jump on and have real talk, real chat about what's going on for us in our lives. I thought these episodes could be like a mini men's circle where people on the outside can hear what men are experiencing on the inside. That's a good little quote there. Boom. That's what this episode or this sort of format intended to be. But Ryan, you were on recently. Your episode was a frother. Like, people were frothing on it.
Hey, I've had so many guys that I don't know that know you that have approached me through Instagram and just added me and just sending out lots of love.
Have you got any stalkers yet?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Couple.
That's what you're after, man, in this game.
Yeah, I'm like, who are these people? Because my profile was on private for so long. I'm just decline. They keep adding me. I'm like, oh wait, hang on. This is probably people that Lockie knows or they know the podcast. I'm like, I should probably add them.
Yeah, except I'm sorry, guys. So for anyone who Ryan's declined recently, he's sorry. He's only new to the public life.
Yeah.
The public family. Kris, so in a second I'll get you to reintroduce yourself. For those who haven't listened to Ryan's episode, I think it was 3 weeks ago. I don't even know with this self-isolation what time's happening. 4.
Oh, mate. Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Don't worry about me.
Last week feels like a year.
Yeah, I'm only halfway through a coffee, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, mate, I just had one. I just went for a bike ride. I'm awake.
Yeah. And Kris joining me from Brisbane. He's a fucking...
I'm still waiting on that for you to accept my friend request, bro. We've met, though.
Kris, has Ryan declined you, or are you just sitting there pending?
Oh, just like the podcast.
Nah, I don't know you, bro. We can't be friends.
Well, maybe we could do an episode of Fan Meets Hero.
Ah!
Maybe. I'll just facilitate it. But in all serious, non-serious chat, let's sort of rip in. I think, guys, I'll give you a hot 30 seconds. I'm going to even pull out my phone, 30 seconds to introduce yourself to the audience. And wait, I think the cool thing about this, you can introduce yourself however the fuck you want. And people think it's legit.
You want to go first, Kris?
Scissors, paper, rocket.
All right, let's go. How are we doing it? Scissors, paper, rock.
Oh, Kris lost. That would have been perfect to video. That's awesome. So we just did scissors, paper, rock. That's proof that you can have fun online.
True.
All right, 30 seconds, Ryan, in the hot seat. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I'm Ryan Barford. A lot of you may already know who I am. I can see the clock, Lockie. I was on the podcast with Lockie. We spoke heavily about men's mental health, vulnerability with men, male suicide and stuff like that. Something I'm 100% passionate about. But yeah, I'm just like all of you guys, just your average everyday bloke. So nothing special, but we're here to talk about some cool shit. So let's get it done.
Which are special as well. Kris, over to you. That was fucking good, Ryan.
Hey guys, Kris Lane. I've been working with Lockie now for about we've known each other for 6 months roughly. I'm a psychology student in my second year, and yeah, I've got a real passion for men's mental health as well, and hope to provide some sort of value on here. I hope and learn a bit as well.
What's one thing quickly about both of you, non men's mental health related, non anything related to this podcast, random fun fact about you guys that no one knows that a lot of people are about to know?
Okay. Random fun fact about me that no one seems to know. Geez, that's a tough one, Lockie.
That a small amount of people may know, that we can now tell a lot of people.
Have you got one off the top of your head, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. No. Oh,
I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to think. I'll quickly introduce myself, and then we'll come back to you and we'll answer that question.
Fun fact. I'm really chill, real placid kind of guy. But I used to do kickboxing for 6 years, and absolutely love beating people up and getting beaten up. At training, I will just reiterate that at training, not in the street.
I guess actually, I was in the army, and I don't really even talk about that anymore. So that was an interesting experience.
There you go.
Yeah, nice. I can love it. And I'm lucky, and I am taking this day by day. I'm trying to figure this shit out just as much as everyone else. I think I'm trying to enjoy stuff, but I'm also super driven and motivated to make a change and also create a lifestyle that excites me. But I still have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Hence why we're changing formats on podcasts, and I'm constantly doing random things. Cool fun fact. This podcast that we're all on right now, charting in the Czech Republic. How the fuck that's happening, I have no idea. We've just started charting in New Zealand. We're charting in Australia. We're charting all over the place. So thanks to you guys. When I saw Czech Republic, I was like, that's random. And I don't even know how we chart because, to be honest, I just shared it on my Instagram. That's it.
So
that's a
fun fact. I think I told you already, Lockie, but after the podcast that you and I did, obviously landed really well with a lot of men and stirred the pot in a positive way. I then passed it on to one of my female friends, and she loved it. Obviously, she's just same type of person. Her brother, all the way back in England, has been having a really rough time with his ex-partner and custody issues with his child and all that sort of stuff, and was nearly at the point where he wanted to fucking take his own life. And she passed on the link to him, and he listened to the whole thing, and it just changed his whole mood and frame of mind right then and there. Yeah. So saved a life, man.
Mate, that's the ripple effect, though. And this is, before we sort of even just go into current events, I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, they have the power to make an impact. They think, I know for myself, you used to think you had to do it on this global scale, but it's we've all, if you've got one person around you, you have the ability to take time. If you watch something cool on fucking YouTube, if you listen to an awesome podcast, read a good book, learn something in a conversation that you think will add value to someone, pass it on. People in this day and age, it's almost too much effort to copy and paste a link and share it to someone. But that link or that book or that even just paraphrasing someone's conversation could completely change someone's life. And it's, people always ask, especially in the mental health space or just in the health in general, how can I help out, or how can I support your mission, or how can I have an impact? I'm like, just fucking do those things. Generally give a shit about your mates, and if you feel you have something that can help them or benefit them, take a moment to do that.
It's just the little things, isn't it? Yeah. Just little pieces, just slowly stacking, and it just elevates the whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know from my own experience, I used to think I was like, fuck, I can't pull the trigger until I've got this world dominating plan in place. Ain't gonna happen.
That was my mindset too. That's why I didn't really push too hard with the coaching myself. As I was always that fear of failure, and that fear, and also then fear of being seen as well. So
yeah,
and I felt like I always had to have my ducks all lined up in a row.
Getting ready to get ready.
Yeah.
Like that.
Isn't it weird how we think, isn't it?
It is, man.
Right.
So, Kris,
yeah.
How are you feeling about That's cool. What's that saying? The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the
It's
room.
funny actually because every single I think I was saying this to I think I was saying it to you, Kris, the other day. Like every single conversation you have at the moment, it's the same. It's like a lot of uncertainty. It was like, isn't this crazy? Like the same one-liners, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking sick of hearing it. But there's literally, we're all experiencing it. So every conversation starts the same way, which is crazy to me. Like even this morning on some messages with some people on Instagram, it's like it's a wild ride, or it's never experienced anything like this. Like all the same stuff, and I feel bad talking about it because, like you said before, Ryan, it's like we don't want to always talk about it. We want to try and focus on some positive stuff and give people something else. But it's like everyone's experiencing this in their own way. That it's just what's coming up, right?
Fucking polarizing.
Fucking crazy. So, Kris, how's it all going for you, brother? Like, what's your experience of it?
Yeah, well, just to sort of second what you said, you know, everyone is sort of dropping these one-liners, and I just went down to the coffee shop then, and the owner sort of comes out and says, you know, to everyone, strange times, and you know, I've been hearing it all week, and I think as well as what Ryan said, you know, you don't really know like how to act, and I know that everyone's experiencing it differently as well, and there's some people that are, you know, at the moment okay, and you know, just staying home, and money's coming in, and money may not be an issue. But then obviously there's the other side of it where it's you know, like a really serious situation, and it doesn't seem to be having any sort of resolve anytime soon. So I feel like I'm definitely treading carefully, even like on Instagram or any sort of like, because obviously social media now I've found myself looking at my phone more than ever.
Same.
Right.
I can't put it down, dude. I'm like, I should be reading, I should be meditating, I should be doing this, but I feel like I'm just constantly just like, fuck, what's next? What's new? What's fresh?
Really?
I'm terrible at the moment, man.
I'm exactly the same. I have not. I see. I think this week I have looked at my phone. I've felt lost if I haven't had my phone in front of me for 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. So I find that really interesting because I don't know whether you guys listen. I can't even remember when I spoke about it. It must have been last week when I had fucking mad anxiety around it because I kept picking up my phone and it was everyone's resharing information, and it's on Instagram stories, and then it's on the news when you walk past the TV and it was everywhere. And then I started getting like a tight chest and shit, and I was like, fuck, have I got the Rona? And then I'm like, no, you're just anxious as fuck, bro. Like
I went through the same shit.
And for me, like I've had to, like, I only want to check and find out what's the update once a day.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone's sharing information, everyone's got their own 2 cents, which is completely fine because everyone's obviously learning and understanding it every fucking second. But my subconscious mind was seeing it non-stop. So even though I was meditating more, I was doing all the things that worked well just because I had this fucking thing in my hand, and on the podcast I'm holding my phone, but like it was just subconsciously destroying me. So I reckon I will snooze people on Facebook for 30 days, probably over 100 people. Just
I've done it. I've had to do it.
It's fucking
just like I've got a mate who just keeps putting all this shit out there, like trying to, you know, like statistics on like the flu versus COVID-19. I'm like, hey, just pump the brakes. Like you're doing my head in. So mute. Yeah. But my thing was that, I'll just add this quickly, is more on the phone because like I'm talking to all my friends, and just I find like I'm just constantly checking in with people and reaching out. So there is a positive side of it to it, but it's a double-edged sword because then I find myself still scrolling as well.
Yeah. You got to make sure you go back to give yourself some time, because it's like I was the same the last 2 days. Every phone call I've been on with clients or potential clients or just mates has been really draining, because there's a lot of people out there who are, you know, experiencing challenging times and stuff. And if even just from listening that you're taking it all on board. And if you don't have an outlet, like yesterday, I put my phone down at 3:00 and then I just went and drank some beers and played Call of Duty. Get this story, boys. Every time I go to play fucking Call of Duty, there's an update. Yesterday's update was 10 hours, so I didn't get to even play. Ended up playing that big tower game with the blocks to Jenga.
Oh, Jenga.
Yeah.
How good is Jenga?
Oh, it's fun, man. But anyway, I was spewing because I wanted to play Call of Duty. Little segue, but yeah, it's fucking frustrating.
That's your reality at the moment, dude. So it's all relevant.
Yeah. But what, Kris, like, what are you doing to sort of combat that?
Yeah, so for me, Call of Duty.
Also, feel free to fucking cut us off because we both love to talk.
No, I'm just listening. You guys, it's all good. Yeah, so I've been actually, I've been pretty busy at the moment with assessments for university and stuff like that. So for me personally, having, this sort of imposed isolation thing has been, in a way, kind of good because it's limited my options of doing other things and procrastinating. Essentially, don't get me wrong. I've still found ways to procrastinate, but it has been good for me in that way. I think over the week I've kind of made for me I've used that as kind of a way to deal with what's going on and see a light in it that I can just do and focus more on that. Other than that, I've been just training each morning. So I got some dumbbells, and I've been working with the PT that I'm working with at the moment, doing some training from home, which has been really good. And then going for walks in the afternoon. But I'm not going to lie, like I've definitely felt, a bit more isolated, and I can understand, and I do think it's something that's going to be a real issue in the coming months of people not really knowing what to do at home. And I think that communication and having some sort of network is going to become really, really important, because people who have relied on their job for social communication and network probably not going to have that as much anymore. And then if you're losing your job as well, it's going to be very difficult. So I think that doing podcasts like this, I mean, listening to podcasts when I'm feeling like alone or lonely is something like the Joe Rogan podcast I put on a lot. When I lived in Darwin, I felt alone a lot of the time, and I would have that on in the background, and I really felt like I was a part of a conversation. So maybe that's something that if someone is feeling like that, they could try. But as I said,
what other podcasts would you recommend to listen to?
Dude, to be honest with you, it's like the only one I listen to. But I like listening to The Man That Can, with Barford and Lockie Stewart. I'm still waiting on my friend request to be accepted, and I think Lockie's on Messenger because I'm getting any responses. So I don't know. I'll just be doing that. But hey, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time, and I don't know if anyone's got the answers right now. But that's what's working for me at the moment. I had a weird experience the other day, actually. I think I spoke to Lockie about it. It was a real eye opener for me. I went down to I just moved into a new place, and I was supposed to have a phone call with you, Lockie, obviously. You know that. And before the phone call, I went down to get a coffee, and I was walking down the street, and I found a dude. Sorry, I'll preface this. It's a bit of a hectic story, but I found a dude having a heart attack in his car.
What?
Yeah, and so I was just going about my morning. I was having a really good morning, actually. I was, meditated, breathing, trained, had some breakfast, and then I was about to jump on a call with Lockie, and I had a coffee, and I was walking down the street, and I found, a dude like really sort of struggling, and I won't go into all the details, but like essentially he died on me, and for me, personally, it really put a lot of things in perspective. One, I was, it's a weird time already, but then I was really thinking about it all day and just how, I don't know. I thought I was struggling a little bit at that point, and then it really put in things into perspective that things could get really a lot worse. And it wasn't a nice experience at all. But I tried to sort of draw some positives. All this stuff going on at the moment. I am still breathing. I can still walk down at this point to go get a coffee. I still can jump on a podcast with you guys. I can still do all these sort of things. And yeah, it was a bit of a fucked up experience. It was about an hour ordeal with this guy. Yeah, but yeah,
Dude,
it's what it is.
crazy fucking, and like we had a little chat about it, and I was like, bro, you handled it really well, and like how you seem to be processing it, whereas I don't know how I would have handled that situation. But I think like you said, it puts not only that, but just the whole experience, puts a lot of things into perspective around what's truly important to us. But I also think to acknowledge the other side, like it's easy to sit here and go, well, fuck, at the end of the day, what's important is your relationships, your family. The job doesn't matter, the money doesn't matter. But there's also people who are, I'm fortunate to not have lost my business or job yet. But there's people who have, and they're not even in a position where they wanted to listen to this shit. Like they're just going through the battlefield, and I can't imagine what that would be like for them as well. So I think it's really important that all of us, and we're all respectful. And I think everyone needs to be respectful that everyone's going to experience this differently. And it's easy to say just fucking focus on what's important, cool. But like there's some people who fucking are it's like for those who've experienced being in that dark place, it's like it's easy for people to say focus on positive shit.
Yeah.
You're like, motherfucker, that's the last thing on my mind right now. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with everything that's in my head. So it's I think wherever everyone's at is important, and whatever way you're experiencing it, whether you're coming from where you're at, Kris, or I'm probably in a similar boat to you where it is putting things into perspective for me. I'm figuring out what is really important for me and what I want to, moving forward from this, I want to focus on. But yeah, there's also people who are experiencing it on all different levels, and what they need to focus on and give energy to is completely different.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry to cut you off, bro.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's with the perspective thing, and I and once again, as you said, it's like tough because at the moment it's very hard, and I understand a lot of people are not going to be able to see past what's right in front of them, and that's completely understandable. I've really tried to, before even this happened, I think we all do, but I was definitely a victim to my own thoughts and would kind of get caught in what's happening right now, and I would get absorbed in it so much that I couldn't see the long game. And things do resolve themselves if you keep persistent even in those sort of dark times. And I think at the moment I have been more than ever focusing on the long-term game and what I can do right now to help with where I want to go, even though times have changed. I don't think it's a time to lie down and play a victim. I think at the moment it's more important than ever that we remain persistent and keep pushing, because as hard as it is for some people maybe to realize at the moment, this thing will pass, and things will probably not be the same as they were, but things will change, will adapt. But I just think I can't stress how important it is not to let this thing defeat us.
Yeah, every single one of us, and then everyone listening, there's been some point in your life where you've been faced with the previous biggest challenge you've ever had in your life, and you've overcome that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right. So this is just going to be another one of those moments, right, where it is potentially the worst thing that's ever gone on in your life and the most challenging thing, and it feels like it's never going to pass. But like you said, it will, and it's an opportunity to test our threshold, see what we need to work on, or maybe we need to build. It's going to, I believe, it's going to expose areas that we can work on moving forward from this, right? And obviously, once again, not everyone's going to be in that place where they're looking for that. But from my experience and what everything's going on for me, it's exposing all of my weaknesses and how I can look to improve, the 8 important areas of my life, right? And some of it sucks because you're like, fuck, I thought I had that nailed, but I don't. But I'm going to look to work on that.
100%. I think also I had I had a funny thought last night. I mean, I know a lot of at the moment they're sort of, not working, and it's the weekend, so I guess if you're in a financially okay position, it probably seems like a pretty good time to party and kind of drop the standards a little bit. And I know for sure that's happening. I mean, last weekend it was sort of all over my Instagram story and stuff like that, and whatever is what it is. But for me personally, I've definitely had my times with drugs and alcohol, and gambling. You can't really do at the moment, sports wise, due to there being no sport to bet on. But I think, like if anyone's listening that is in that position, I mean, this is probably not the time to be doing that, because as a coping mechanism, I understand that people do use it for that, and I understand that this is a time where more than ever, even last night I thought, it would be fucking heaps of fun to sit around a table, with a bag, talking apocalyptic chat. The end of the world, snorting something high, talking about conspiracy theories. Like, I thought about it last night and it was super appealing, but I'll tell you what, I feel a lot better waking up this morning, talking to you guys and having a coffee and, thinking about, what could be in the future instead of getting caught up in what's happening right now.
Do you know what, Kris? I had a Zoom chat with my mates, as I told you guys earlier, and we all had a beer and that, and we were all sort of thinking the exact same thing what you just said there. We were all like, oh man, it'd be so nice to sit around a table, and because like you said, like, oh, it's such a fucking strange situation we're in, and like we all starting to go back to that defaulting like pattern of like, oh man, it'd be good to just like smash the bags and like have beers and just be around each other and talk shit and just vibe it out. But like you said, it's just nice to wake up and feel fresh. Like I still had 2 beers last night, but what?
It's a good like. I don't believe personally there's anything wrong with drinking, or it's all moderation, right? Like,
yeah.
I think it's when you're down, and like most people are right now are fucking down. So you need to do the things that are going to help you rebuild and get through it, not things that are going to support you when you're down and sort of put your head in the sand. Like it just doesn't make, logically, it doesn't make sense. When you're obviously experiencing all the shit that you're experiencing that you just want an escape from, it makes sense. But like, it's where we need to have that support network, or we need to have that awareness to go, fuck, well, yeah, it will make me feel better right now, but tomorrow, like you guys just said, it's not going to be beneficial. And I want to fucking get through this, so I'm going to persevere right now, and tomorrow I'm going to fucking be grateful for that.
Yeah, and that's sort of like where I was at. Like it was good in theory, but in practice, not quite the same, is it? Like, because there's always a consequence and repercussions to these things. So obviously, like, we finished our Zoom chat last night and I just went to bed, drank some water, went to bed, and I got up this morning, went for like a 6K bike ride before we got on here.
Yeah, and you compare that to how you would have felt.
Oh, I'd still be in bed. I would have bailed out on this chat.
100%. Yeah, I think at the moment, like, I've been thinking a lot about delayed gratification, how I haven't implemented in my life very much, and how at the moment it's probably a time where you can look if you want to work on something. I mean, now's the time. I mean, if we really are getting locked down and we can't leave our house, like, what is it? Is it do you want to read more? Do you want to meditate more? Do you want to increase, like, your mental strength or capacity or focus? I mean, think about monks. They lock themselves away and meditate for days. And I mean, I'm not saying that I want to become a monk or anything like that.
Put the clippers away, mate.
Yeah. But delayed gratification, I mean, you work on something through this time period, coming out the other side, when you can go and actually do things again and get out there, and it's going to be, yeah, I mean, it's plenty of time to be doing stuff at the moment that you might not have done before, or you might not have had time to do before, that doesn't cost money. Probably a lot of issues that I can maybe foresee or guess that people are going to have is because they're going to be bored, and then rumination comes into that. We all know what comes after that. It's a very dark sort of road. So I'm constantly thinking about what I can be doing right now that doesn't cost any money, that I can do from home, that's going to benefit me in the long run. And I think delayed gratification is going to be something that will really, I think you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, playing the long game in that sense.
Even shift perspective on what gratification is, right? Like, it depends. Most of us want it from external resources or results, right? But the result is just doing what you said you were going to do. Feels fucking good to do what you say you're going to do, right? Now more than ever, we need structure, because most people are going to start working from home. You're going to have distractions. You might have kids, partners, or you might just be at home by yourself. But there's going to be factors that come into play that fuck with your structure, and you're not going to know how to self-motivate or discipline in order to get the result. So my first thing with that is, like, if you want gratification, give yourself some structure and then go through it. Like, I've got stuff here that I just tick off on a daily basis, and once I've done it, I'm like, cool, my day's done. Sometimes it takes 12 hours, sometimes it takes 4. But that's how I feel, like, my sense of achievement. I'm like, sweet, I can control that, I can control that. Bang, done. I can't control the outcomes for how everything goes. But if I know I'm ticking the box and I'm giving it my best crack and really hoping to get the outcome that I want, then game on. There's a good way to instantly fucking reward myself.
For sure.
That's a good perspective, Lockie.
It's like,
and a good little system too, just as simple as a tick list.
Yeah, bro, it's easy and it feels fucking good. Except for on the days where it's taking you 12 hours to get it done. Like, far out, man.
You're like,
yeah. But I think there's a lesson that it doesn't always go to plan. How's it going for you, Ryan? Like, how are you sort of feeling about the current environment and what's happening?
Look, I don't want to.
What are you eating, by the way? What do you got?
Protein ball.
Oh,
homemade.
Good.
Yeah. Lots of nuts and dates, and it's like one of those raw ones. So for me, it's business as usual, to be honest, man. I can't. I'm very empathetic towards people in these other more negative scenarios that lost jobs and struggling really heavily in that. But for me, I still have to work because I'm in the rails.
Yeah.
And the company I work for are rail freight.
Yeah.
So if anything, our business is just so much more ramped up than normal because all the truck avenues are actually extremely exhausted. They don't have enough truck drivers at the moment.
Yeah.
Because freight is just so under the pump. So my job is quite paramount to running the country. and it's just an interesting perspective. Like, people put white collar business on a pedestal, like big CEOs and general managers of like big corporations and that, but I find it really odd now. It's just like they're not that important at the moment, or it's like people like, my job's important, but like emergency workers and people who work in supermarkets, like get us our food and stack the shelves and service at the supermarkets and greengrocers and butchers, just the things that like keep us alive, are the most important people at the moment, which is such an odd scenario. Like that,
isn't it weird though that we build that hierarchy though as well? Like in reality, the person cleaning the fucking bathrooms equal, in my opinion. You know, obviously hierarchy says differently, but
well, Richard Branson
is their role in making society tick, right?
Yeah, like, and Richard Branson like adheres to that model as well. He's like, the guy that cleans the toilet is just as important as I am, because without that person, the company doesn't run.
You don't have clean toilet.
Yeah, so for me, my personal like life, my life's changed definitely, because our shifts have changed at work. Like, there's no overlap, so we don't do a handover between day and afternoon shift. They don't want us to have contact with each other. We have to clean everything now with alcohol and wipe everything down, and that's the only big shift. There's just always this conscious effort of like cleaning and being mindful of other people as well.
Yeah.
We have a guy at work who's, I'm pretty sure he's in his 60s. He's an absolute machine, still working, but he's had pneumonia before, had open lung surgery, everything. So I didn't know this until like 2 days ago. So yeah, that's something that we've all been told we have to be mindful of anyway. But for my day-to-day life, so the gym's closed. I've done the same thing as you, like you have set up a home gym. You've seen my ghetto as fuck bench press that I found down the side of, I found that down the side of the building. It's nearly falling apart, but my housemate's going to weld it back together. Like, just like how well, like, I've found myself adapting to these circumstances and just trying to find a positive light in it it's like I'm surprised with myself.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And but for me, I actually had a cry the other day. Like last week, I was just so overwhelmed with everything. I actually sat down in my bedroom and just cried, because like I just needed it. I just needed it. And it needed to release, because I've just been squashing everything and trying to support all my friends.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, I just need to be alone for a minute. And all the tears just came out. But it was the best thing I did. So if anyone else is out there struggling, through my experience, and I can give suggestions. I don't know what it's like to be you, anyone out there, but if you are struggling and you're feeling like you're having to squash those emotions down, take the time to just give yourself a little space to feel those emotions, because they will, like, as much as you push them down, they always come bubbling back to the surface. So yeah, I felt so much better for taking that time to just feel it, feel through it, but not stay there.
Yep.
Don't get stuck there. I know it's easy to say that, but yeah, I was conscious about that, and for my experience, it was really good and it helped me. But for me, on a day-to-day basis, like, got up, went for a bike ride this morning. I found that really beneficial, because normally on Saturdays, if I've got the day off, I'm going to the gym and doing the morning classes with the gang there. Can't do that now, so just trying to keep my mind active and my body active, and I'm finding great benefits from that. It's really giving me a huge benefit on the fact that, like, I'm in control of it now. I don't have a coach telling me what to do. It's now all on me, and I find it really empowering, to be honest. And I'm just really fucking grateful to know, like, my gratitude is just keeps going up and up and up. because I have a job, I'm healthy, like just all those little things are just compounding into a higher level of gratitude. Like I still get moments of angst and sadness because what's going on, but I've just, the best thing that I've done in the last week was like yesterday, I just didn't watch the news until yesterday afternoon.
Yep.
The whole day not watching the news. I cleaned the house. I was FaceTime to friends. I just did things that I could control, and they were only little things, but yeah, it was a game changer for me because I've just been sucked into the news a lot, and like Kris said, I was same as you, mate, like stuck on my phone quite a bit, and yeah, that was
How good's FaceTime though? Like,
yeah.
I was going to put a post up yesterday. Like, now is the time where you can take, 5, 10, 15 minutes to don't just call them, mate. FaceTime. I fucking love FaceTime and voice notes. Like, I just froth on that shit. And just constantly FaceTime people, because even though we got the 5 senses or 5 ways to communicate, and like being able to see someone, like you could be on the phone to someone, and for me personally, I'm pretty monotone and bland, as you guys have probably realized. So you wouldn't really know, but you could see from my body language and posture how I'm really feeling, right? Or it might be a giveaway. Kris, you didn't come through then. You said something, but it didn't.
Oh, I said you're not monotone when you got that shirt off.
Yeah, well, see, that's another level of communication, right? My voice is boring, but the body's popping, bro.
That rig out. The gladiator body.
I'm not going to go into that.
Mate, I wish I had a rig like yours. If I had a rig like yours, I'd have my shirt off every fucking 10 seconds.
Well, boys, straight after this, I'm getting it back off and I'm going to lay in the sun.
Yeah.
I'm not actually. I got one more client, but then I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But gents, we'll wrap up in a split second. But what's on the cards for you guys? Where can everyone, if everyone wants to just have a yarn and get a few more laughs from you, gents, or even some serious chat, where can they find you on the Instagram's always the best for everyone, right?
Yep. So my Instagram is just at Ryan Barford, and I've made it public now. So anyone can add me, anyone can chat me. It's just easier in this current time. And I've learned that after being on the podcast that people were trying to reach out to me. I didn't realise. I just thought they were randoms. And they were random, not weird.
It's funny how people have that perspective and they're like, who the fuck's this person? I don't know. Why they add me?
I don't know this person.
Like, at some point in your life, your best mate you didn't know, but they reached out. Like, obviously it's Facebook now, but yeah.
You're a stranger to me. Like 6 months ago, I didn't know who you were.
You slid into my DMs and I wasn't like, who's this weird? I was like, fucking oath, let's get on the phone, son.
Yeah, so reach me through there. But yeah, I don't know. Just reach out if anyone wants to have a chat. I'm pretty open to book. Yeah, Kris.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just if anyone wants to chat or pretty much just Kris Lane 44, KRISLANE 44.
Is it Kris dot or just Kris Lane?
Just Kris Lane 44.
I don't know why I thought you had a dot in there, but anyway, that's all good.
Nice and simple.
All right, gents. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on. It's been fun. It's been really fun. I think we'll do more of these because they are always a good laugh, bit of serious chat, bit of real chat. But
well, I'd be happy to do it every Saturday morning if you want.
Well, it doesn't go in line with the Friday freestyle chats, does it? It has to be Friday.
Saturday morning yarns.
I was going to try and come up with a one-liner for Saturday, but I got nothing.
Just Saturday morning yarns, mate.
Super Saturday yarns. I don't fucking know.
So Saturday morning toolbox meeting.
Oh, yeah. Fucking oath. But appreciate everyone who does listen to this and shares it and even takes a moment to review and do all that sort of stuff. I'm sure, I always pass it around anyway. Of course I do. But everyone who shares it on socials or gives it to a person who will get some value from it.
Yep.
That's what it's intended to do. So appreciate you guys jumping on. Have a great fucking Saturday, even though this is a Friday freestyle chat. But we'll see you guys soon. Have a ripper day.
You too.